Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Bashar Hafi was the popular drunkard in Baghdad. Once he was going somewhere after drinking alcohol. He saw a paper lying on the ground. Allah's name was written on that one. Having respect and regard of Allah, he picked up that paper and cleaned that one. Then he went to the fragrance shop. He bought fragrance and placed it on the paper with respect. And then he found the highest place, the respectable highest place in his house. And he left the paper there. In the same night, the big saint within the Baghdad saw a beautiful dream. A person is saying to that one in the dream, go and say to the Bashar the following words. You have respected our name and left it at a highest place in your house. So we will purify you and bless you the respect in this world and the world hereafter. The saint thought that this dream may be coming from Shaitan. He made fresh wudu, performed some nafal salah, then slept again. So this big saint has seen this dream 3 times at night. So then he decided that this dream is true and the message is coming from Allah through the angel. So this way, this big saint decided to see Bashar Hafi in the morning. So he went in search of Bashar Hafi. He found him in a pub and he was there inside. This big saint stayed outside of the pub and sent a man to find out Bashar who is inside and tell him that someone is calling out, please come out. So the man went in, he found Bashar was there and requested him to come out. Bashar was not believing in that. He sent one other person to look at the person who is outside and what is the purpose of calling. That man came out and found the biggest saint staying outside the pub, waiting for Bashar with the message of Allah for him. So that man went back to Bashar and told him that this person has a special message from Allah for you. So Bashar, he never looked at the shoes. He came out with barefooted to look at the person to receive the message from Allah. So this was the strange situation where a wave of truthful love of Allah swept in his body. He came out, found the big saint, and then he went with him to repent, did Tawbah Astaghfar, and Allah forgave him and made him his own servant. So this is the story of that person, how he became the friend of Allah. And he was so much friend of Allah that the animals, they were looking after him. When he was going in any street, the animals, they were not to leave their excretion there, in respect that the bashar will come to move on the surface of this street. So they were just to make that one clean. MashaAllah. And because bashar is called Hafi, Hafi mean the person who is with naked foot, naked feet. It mean the person who has barefooted, no shoes. Because when Bashar he received the message of Allah, he went out with barefooted. So throughout his life, he was not to put on the shoes. So he spent his life without shoes. This way, animals were to respect him in the streets. They were not to leave their excretion or poo. So the streets were clean just for Bashar, so that he is coming with barefooted animals. They were to respect him. One day, someone found the feces of the animal, the excretion of the animal in the street. So that person assumed that today, so Bashar is not in this world. So it was true. So Bashar died. So until the Bashar was alive, the animals, they were just to respect him. So this story is telling us the biggest lesson, that we must have respect and regard of Allah's name, and the papers where Holy Quranic verses are written, or some other Islamic messages, if on the paper written and lying on the ground. So if we are just to find that, we have to take them, clean them, and put some fragrance and leave them at the highest place in our house or in our mosque. So in order to get the reward from Allah. So this way, respect and regard of religious literature, Quranic verses, Prophet names, Allah's names, and other Islamic messages. So this we must have in ourselves. So this is the best way to get to win the love of Allah, to be friend of Allah. Allah gave us tawfiq. Ameen.